Are you a new LLC and you're trying to get a business loan or business line of credit or business credit card, and whenever you try to apply for a business loan and your ass is denied over and over and over? So if you are that person, if you are in that category right now, that configuration, I have good news for you, because I want to share with you the 10 types of business loans for a new LLC that you might qualify for. The approval requirements are not really that stringent, not strict, so you have a chance. Okay, so let's have a conversation about that. So here's the approach I really want you to really pay attention to. So if you are a new LLC and you are looking for new business loans, let's say business loans for your new LLC, think about term loans first. See, the whole thing is that term loans are not as complicated as you think they are, because what's going to happen here is that it's just like a regular loan that your LLC gets, and then you have to repay over a certain period of time. Now, the only problem is, and the only reason why you might actually get denied, is if there is a discrepancy between the loan amount you're asking for, your credit score, and your ability to repay. Those are the three things I want you to pay attention to. So if you want to qualify for a term loan, a business term loan as a new LLC, pay attention to this trifecta. How much do you want to borrow? How much can you afford to repay? And what is your credit score? In other words, what is your financial profile? So if those three things are aligned, you are going to qualify. Let me just explain. For example, let's say you want to have a term loan of $10,000 versus $100,000. Right off the bat, you see the delta, right? $10,000, $100,000. The requirements will be different. We are talking about 10x here, and the bank is thinking 10x risk. There's a risk of default. Remember, you are a new LLC. So the pros and cons of this term loans: you get cash upfront to invest in your LLC business. Typically allows you to borrow a higher amount than other types of loans, and funding is fast if you use an online lender as opposed to a traditional bank. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here to have a quick convo with you about the types of business loans for your new LLC if you want to get approved real quick. And now, in some cases, for term loans, you might have to pledge a personal guarantee if you do not apply properly. That's why if you are a new LLC, it's just a lot better to apply for the EIN only business loan. Do not apply for like a loan that actually calls for your social. No, go with the one that actually pays attention to your EIN. The second category of business loans where you can be easily approved for, if you are a new LLC, if you are a startup, those are SBA loans. Now, a lot of folks believe that because those are government-backed loans, your chances of being approved are lower. No. Yes, of course, the government is backing the loans. That's why they're called SBA loans, Small Business Administration. Yes, but the thing is that if you have the proper sort of setup for your LLC, you could qualify very easily for the SBA loans. Remember that what's happening here is that the SBA is guaranteeing the loan, and those loans are offered by banks and other lenders. So you have alternative lenders, you have online lenders, and repayment periods on SBA loans for new LLCs or established LLCs, depending on how you plan to use the money. So they range from 7 years for working capital to 10 years for buying equipment and 25 years for real estate purchases. So this is kind of cool. And so the thing is that, so what we love about SBA loans for new LLCs is that you have some of the lowest rates on the market. You can borrow up to $5 million, which is fantastic for a new LLC. Let's say you're struggling right now to have access to cash to finance your expansion, to buy inventory, to make payroll, and all other stuff that you need to take care of. And then you have the SBA loan actually helping you out, and you have longer repayment terms. Okay, now in some parts of the country, an SBA loan can be hard to qualify for, especially if you're a new LLC. That's why I said if you have the right financial profile at the personal level, you could qualify for an SBA loan. But you do have to think about a long and rigorous approach when it comes to qualification. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. I'm talking to you about the business credit for new LLC. I'm sharing with you the top 10 loans that you could qualify for if you're a new LLC. And you also have to think about a business line of credit. So this product provides access to funds up to your credit limit, and you pay interest only on the money you have drawn. And it can provide more flexibility than a term loan. And so it's kind of cool when it comes to having a flexible way to borrow, especially if you are a new LLC. You need access to cash real fast, and so this can be typically unsecured, and so no collateral is required ever. Another type of business loan that you could qualify for if you're a new LLC and you think that you might be struggling to get financing or what have you, is to think about equipment loans. So equipment financing. So for the new LLC, this is kind of cool. Why? Because the thing here is that equipment loans help you buy equipment for your new LLC, sometimes including semi-truck financing. And one thing I want to say here is that business auto loans are available for cars, vans, and light trucks. So if your LLC is in that industry or needs that kind of purchases, it could be good to think about business auto loans specifically. And equipment loans for your LLC, your new LLC, the terms typically is matched with the expected lifespan of the equipment. And the equipment serves as collateral for the loan, which that's why it's just a lot easier to qualify for, because the lender is not paying attention a lot. The lender is doesn't really care in that case about your personal FICO score, okay? Because the loan is collateralized, so it's just a lot easier to qualify for. And rates will depend on the value of the equipment and the strength of your business. Now, if you are a new LLC, obviously your business has not actually demonstrated any strength yet, but you could still qualify if you have a strong application paperwork. Right? Let's say you have a business plan. You have a strong financial projections, you can stand a chance to qualify. So when we think about equipment loans for your new LLC, the good thing is that you own the equipment and build equity in it. And you can get competitive rates if you have strong credit and business finances. And but you may have to come up with the down payments, something that you may not have if you are struggling to have business credit in the first place. And equipment can become outdated more quickly than the length of your financing. So this is something you need to really think about. But overall, equipment loans are great for new LLCs and established LLCs for that matter, especially businesses that want to own equipment outright. So if you are in an industry right now where your new LLC needs to own equipment, not lease it, not buy it, not lease it or rent it, but buy it and own it, then you might want to consider equipment loans. But just make sure that you actually do this transaction at one of the best equipment loan financiers in the country, the traditional banks also, but you also have other players such as Balboa Capital. You have Kalamata Group. So those are players that we know about. I want you to also think about invoice factoring. So if you are out there, you're listening to me, you are a new LLC, and you are trying to find alternative ways to generate revenue, think about invoice factoring. Invoice factoring is kind of cool because it doesn't matter whether your LLC is 3 months old or 6 months old. As long as you have accounts receivable outstanding, you can actually factor those accounts receivable and get cash right away. So let's say your new LLC has unpaid customer invoices, which are typically paid in 30, 60, or 90 days. If you need cash flow, you can get money for those unpaid invoices through invoice factoring. So you would sell the invoices to a factoring company, which would then be responsible for collecting from the customer when the invoice is due. Okay, so here you have fast cash for your new LLC, and you have easier approval than traditional funding options. And but the thing is that this process can be costly compared with other options, and you lose control over the collection of your invoices. Okay, and this could be problematic if you're trying to build a relationship with your customer. And so this is great for new LLC businesses with unpaid invoices that need cash fast, and new LLC businesses with reliable customers on long payment terms. And here we're speaking about 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about how to get business credit for a new LLC. I'm sharing with you some of the best loan options available for your new LLC. So we have invoice factoring. We have another process that is kind of similar to invoice financing. So invoice financing is analogous to invoice factoring, but instead of selling your unpaid invoices to a factoring company, you use the invoices as collateral to get a cash advance. Okay, so here are also the pros. You have fast cash, and your customers will not know their invoices is being financed. What about the cons here? This can be costly compared with other options, kind of similar to invoice factoring, and you are still responsible for collecting the invoice payments. Something that is different, something that you don't have with the invoice factoring scenario. Okay, and this is great for new LLCs. They're looking to turn unpaid invoices into fast cash, and or new LLCs that want to maintain control over their invoices. I want to talk to you now about merchant cash advances. So if you are a new LLC and you're trying to raise money and you are trying to find ways to raise your cash real fast without suffering denials and rejections and what have you, then you might want to consider merchant cash advances. So this is a business lending program where you get a lump sum of cash upfront that you can use to finance your LLC, your new LLC business. So instead of making one fixed payments each month from a bank account as you would with a term loan, you make payments on a merchant cash advance either by withholding a percentage of your credit and debit card sales daily or by fixed daily or weekly withdrawals from a bank account. So this is kind of cool. And so you have fast cash, you have unsecured financing. This is really important to remember that. And so some of the detriments with this sort of financing, you have some of the highest borrowing costs, up to 350% in some cases. And you have frequent repayment that actually can create cash flow problems. And so this is great in our view for new LLC businesses that have high and consistent credit card sales and can really handle frequent repayments. Or this can be great for LLC businesses that cannot get financing anywhere else and cannot wait for capital. So if you are in that situation where you need access to fast cash, and because maybe you have a new product to launch, or you have a new campaign to start, or you have a new operational goals to actually implement, then you need cash real quick, and then you want to tap into the liquidity that you are getting from a merchant cash advance. This could be a possibility. The only thing is, for your new LLC, you need to actually have high and consistent credit card sales. Okay, because if you sell in cash or you sell like through other means, you're not going to qualify, because an MCA lender, a merchant cash advance lender, wants to see electronic sales, wants to see, I would say, consistent credit card sales. It could be credit card or debit card for that matter. Okay, but it has to be electronic so that they can trace it. They can see a history of volume. They will see a history of consistency. They will see a history of frequency. This will really be important for you. I want to talk to you also about personal loans. Yeah, this may sound counterintuitive, but hey, listen, if you are trying to get an LLC business loan and you don't qualify, why don't you try at the personal level? I mean, you could be better off trying at the personal level. Who knows? Because it's possible, it's totally possible to use a personal loan for business purposes. Yes, it is an option for startups, as banks typically don't lend to LLC businesses with no operating history. Approval for these loans is based solely on your personal credit score, but you will need good credit to qualify for a large amount for that matter. Okay, and so this is actually great because startups and newer LLC businesses can qualify, and you have relatively fast funding, especially if you apply online. Like if you apply with the likes of Upstarts or Upgrade, you'll get or Avant for that matter, you'll actually get approved real fast. If you go to your regular bank, to your bank or credit union, it might take a few days, but hey, you get the cash anyway. And one thing we don't like about this process is that you have potentially high borrowing costs, and you have small borrowing amounts of up to $100,000, up to $50,000. But if you go to Lightstream, for example, you can get all the $100,000, not a problem. And or if you go to Upgrades, 50,000, yeah. But there are other players in the industry that actually give you, like SoFi. Yeah, SoFi, that's the name I was blanking on. SoFi actually gives you $100,000. So this is great. This is really good. And one thing you need to know here is that even though you're using the cash for your new LLC, failure to repay can hurt your credit. So it's really, I want you to have this in the back of your head. And so this is great for LLC, startup, and newer businesses with strong personal credit, and new LLC borrowers willing to risk damaging their credit score, because there is an element there, right? There's a possibility that things might go wrong. And then if your LLC cannot repay whatever the LLC has borrowed, then you'll need to find the cash elsewhere. Otherwise, you are damaging not only your personal credit score, but also your new LLC credit score if some of those transactions are linked. But the big risk here is on the personal credit score side of things. So you have to think about that. Let's also think about business credit cards. So basically, if you are a new LLC and you are trying to get business credit for your new LLC, right? And you tried a lot of things and things don't work, why don't you just go for a credit card? Yeah, because the thing is that, if you want new LLC term loans and they deny your ass, you're trying business lines of credit, they deny your ass. Equipment loans, they deny your ass. Invoice financing, invoice factoring, all those things, they were denying your ass. You have to strategize and go for a different plan, right? Business credit cards are revolving lines of credit, so you can draw from those lines of credit and repay the card as needed, as long as you make minimum monthly payments and don't exceed the credit limits. So they're typically best used for financing ongoing expenses such as travel, office supplies, and utilities. So you can earn rewards on your purchases. No collateral is required. Now, there is a high cost though, because if you have a variable rate that may arise in this economy, you have a rates that actually go all the way to 35%, 36% for business credit cards for new LLCs and existing LLCs for that matter. So if you have a great credit on the personal side, then you might get something better, and extra fees might apply also. So business credit cards are great for ongoing business expenses for your new LLC. And you also need to think about maybe having a microloan. So you have sites such as Kiva and Action that actually help you get microloans, but those are small loans, $50,000 or less. That you have like nonprofits organizations and mission-based lenders that actually grant those loans, and those loans are typically available to startups, new LLCs, and businesses in disadvantaged communities. So you have a low cost here. Low cost element is really important. And in addition to the funding process, you have other services that may be provided. Like it can be consulting, it can be training, it can be guidance. It really depends. It can be business plan writing, for example. But the thing is that you have to think the detriment here is that the loan amounts are limited, and you may have to meet stringent eligibility requirements. So those are important elements for you to really think about. And but this microloans are great for new LLCs and established LLCs in disadvantaged communities, or new LLCs seeking only a small amount of financing. So if your new LLC just needs, let's say, a small amount of cash just to get by, then you might need to consider this one, because it helps you really get the loans real fast, and you don't have to provide lots of documentation. In some cases, it might take a long time to fund. Let's say 1 month. Yeah, we've seen, like in this industry, we've seen 2 weeks all the way to 1 month. So if you're okay with waiting, then that's fine. That's really fine. You can just get with this business line of credit, with this microloan. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I'll just share with you, the business credit for new LLC, some of the loans that you could qualify for, and how to play the system, how to play the game, how to play the application game, so that you get approved no matter what. Thank you. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.